Hey there everybody, and welcome back to the underground beneath All Gods Village. You might be wondering, well, we already finished up the last chapter last time around, so what else is there left to do? Well, I don't really feel like I showed off the underground very well last time, especially getting caught by almost every mourner possible down here, so I figured I might as well go ahead and show off the fact that I'm not the worst person ever at combat in regards to Fatal Frame 2. That isn't to say that it makes this section any better. It's still incredibly tedious to fight mourners, even in a one-on-one situation, even in a normal open area. Fighting mourners is just incredibly tedious, and I understand story-wise why they put them down here amongst all these closed-off walls and cave-ins and things like that, interconnecting all the important houses that we've been inside. But it still is just a really awful design choice. I mean, mourners aren't hard, they're just incredibly tedious. And even using Type 90 film, fully maxed out camera, using zero shot, which is the most powerful lens you can get in the normal playthrough, they're still going to take almost about 30 to 40 seconds a piece, which is why, during my initial run through, I decided not to fight them. Right now, we're going at about, I think, 3 times speed up, and even still, I think getting through all of them is probably going to take up to about 2 to 3 minutes, so well, you can do math. Well, needless to say, it takes a lot longer than necessary and kind of ruins what would otherwise be a pretty creepy setting. Now, what could they use instead of the mourners? Well, I guess we could fight the different ghosts that we fought in each particular house at their each intersection. Because, we have already visited most of these caved-in areas at different points during the game. Only one is going to be pretty evident which location it's going to be at, but for the most part, this is just a tour of a bunch of areas we've already been in. Except filled to the brim with mourners. But, as long as you have gotten a reasonable amount of practice against them, yeah, they're not too horrible, and I guess if you needed the extra points, they're a good source of points. Otherwise, though, we are coming very close to the end. Don't actually have any more mourners to fight, but yeah, that is the bottom of the Osaka house. It's pretty much the only one we can tell differently, but the actual reason for doing this particular update is the fact that after taking down the Kusabi, some things do change whenever you're playing on hard or nightmare. First off, I'm just going to go ahead and top myself off. And we'll head down to the Hellish Abyss to see what is different. Nothing too strange so far. We have the same final letter from Sai to Yai. Oh, Chapter 0. Yeah, this is where things will start to get a tad bit different.
I kept waiting. In a dark place. Shall we begin? I'm falling.
So we have Mayu waiting by the Hellish Abyss. This time, though, we aren't immediately thrown into a cutscene. Instead, well, she decides to attack us.
Together. Deeper. Deeper.
Or that wasn't Mayu at all.
I wanted to be with you all.
No, it is time for our final encounter of the game against Sai herself, fully driven mad by the Hellish Abyss. First things first, though, we do want to run around to the other side of the Hellish Abyss and do what the game has definitely told us not to multiple times, which is to look down into the Hellish Abyss through our camera obscura. We do have one final hidden ghost to take before we finish out the game. Very easy to miss this, as there's not really a lot of indication it's over there, but well, onto the boss fight itself, and I figure what better opportunity to use the Type 0 film. We don't get a lot of it, but there's no better opportunity to use it than the very final boss of the game. Now, Sai is not difficult per se. She is very damaging if she does happen to strangle you. And that weird red cloud does make it very difficult to try to shoot her. But there is an interesting pattern that she has in that she works on the magic number of 3s. Right after she tries to choke you 3 times, she'll drop her shroud, allowing you to get in a nice fatal frame shot if you do wait around. Otherwise, though, that is the extent of her attacks. She'll just try to strangle you, she'll teleport around, and after 3 times, you'll have your golden opportunity to take her down. Otherwise, though, I suppose the earthquakes can make things a bit disorienting in this fight, but well, you have plenty of room to move around. You should never be boxed in by her, and really her fatal frame opportunity is pretty generous. As long as you can figure out that whole wait for 3 opportunities, she's not too hard. We just have to take one final shot at her and the fight will be over.
But I knew.
Don't look in there!
I can't remember how we were able to leave the village. We were found passed out in the woods. And that village is no more. Mew, let's go now. Mm-hmm. Together, forever.
And there you have it, the second ending for the PS2 version of Fatal Frame 2. I almost want to say that was darkly comical, as Itsuki, calling out to Miyu to not look into the Hellish Abyss, invariably caused her to look into the Hellish Abyss, to turn her blind and probably maddened. And, Mayu came out on top. She now is forever with her sister Mio, and even though she does have that gimp leg, at least she is not blind and insane. So, take that how you will. It's definitely a much darker ending than having them, strangle each other and save the village. but I don't know. I guess it's good that it's not the canonical ending. And in case you're wondering, I will link to the Xbox ending. It's kind of a cop-out, much like the Fatal Frame 1 Xbox ending. If I remember correctly, I think that a ghost version of Yai shows up, and both Yai and Sai's ghost fall into the pit, allowing Mayu and Mio to leave happily ever after. Doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, but there you go. I'll also link in the thread the Wii specific endings. I think the Wii version gets 2 additional ones, neither of which are any better in my honest opinion. But there you go. That is everything done and dusted for Fatal Frame 2. There will be a bonus video showing off a little bit of the mission mode and some promo videos that were included in the game that actually are pretty interesting. Hopefully, though, everyone enjoyed the LP, and hopefully you'll join me next time as we start into Fatal Frame 3. See you then.